Hi, it's Celeste Majors, your canary in the coal mine. So today I wanted to talk about a term that we keep hearing our public health officials saying that I'm not sure that everybody really understands. When they say flattening the curve, what the heck do they mean? So, what I did was I drew a little graph to try to demonstrate this to you. So if one person, say me, has the coronavirus active in me, and I go out into the public, and while I'm out, say I encounter 10 people at a close range, and maybe 2 of them get the coronavirus from me. Then, say the next day, those 2 people, not knowing they have it, they go out into the public, they encounter 10 people or even 5 people, and they each infect 2 more people. And then the next day, those 4 people go out and they, get close to, they go to a park or their kids play with neighbors' kids or whatever, and they each infect 2 more people. And on and on and on. So I drew a graph, and here's the effect of it. So this is like me. I infect 2 people. They each infect 2 more, who then infect 2 more, who then infect 2 more, who then infect 2 more. And I don't mean each person. I mean each person is infecting 2 more, and so on and so on. And when I did the calculations, those of you who have ever done that problem that they give you in math class, where it says, which would you rather have, $1 million or would you rather have a penny, on a chessboard where on the second square they put 2 pennies, on the third square they put 4 pennies, and so forth. Well, take the doubling. Take the 1 penny becomes 2, becomes 4, because in about 10 days, me, if I've infected 2 people and each of those people have infected 2 more, that's 1,000 people will be infected at the end of 10 days. But what's really astounding is that at the end of 20 days, 1 million people will be infected. And the population of the United States currently is a little over 300,000 or something like that. Well, in 25 days, if nothing happens to stop the spread and each person infects 2 more, in 25 days, the entire country now has the coronavirus. So this is what the public health officials are really worried about, is how each person can affect just a small number of other people and have it just bloom out of control. And so now on to talk about what do they mean when they say flattening the curve. So I drew another graph. You just can't take the old math teacher out of me. So this part of the curve I'm representing is like the other curve that I drew. In other words, it's what happens when one person goes out and infects 2 more and infects 2 more and so forth. And what the public health officials are looking for when they call it flattening the curve, because if nothing happened, this would just continue to skyrocket. So the first thing they're looking for is this spot right here, where all of a sudden the number of new cases each day is less than the previous day's total. And that doesn't bring everything to a complete halt, but it slows it down. It's like putting on the brakes when you're driving in your car. It starts you slowing down if each day you have fewer new cases. Then the second point they might be referring to, but I think not, is this part up here, is where the number of new cases is actually less than the number of cases that are healing up. And so you start getting an actual decline in the number of people with the coronavirus. So I think that when the public health officials are talking and they talk about flattening the curve. They're saying basically, up till now, if we do nothing, if we don't stay home and we don't wash our hands and we don't do other safety measures, then it'll just keep going, shooting upward. But if we start taking those measures of staying home, staying away from other people, and so forth, this is the point they're looking for. And when I hear the public health officials on the news media, what they're saying is, we don't even want to start talking about reducing these restrictions until we at least hit this spot where we start having fewer new cases per day. And even if we hit this spot, if we relax the controls too fast, then what will happen is it can turn right back into this shooting upward curve again. So I think that's what they're talking about. And I wanted to explain that because, like most fields have their own personal technical jargon. And I think they're using this jargon and they don't realize that many of us actually don't understand what that means. So that's what they're looking for. The public health officials would like to wait with the existing controls in place of staying 6 feet away from other people and staying in your house until we at least reach this point where the number of new cases is not continuing to increase each day. And part of this is depending on testing too. We may have a backlog of people who actually are walking around with the virus that don't know it because they haven't been tested because we didn't have enough test kits. But once they catch up with the testing, then they're looking for new cases to be less than previous days. So that's my little health tip, so as it is for today. And I want to, as usual, I want you to get well and stay well. Thanks.